Good morning, my YouTube viewers. It is Palestine here. I'm making another video this morning because I can't do what I wanted to do with my data science. So I decided to go ahead and do something on this channel. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about another friend who abandoned me when I was working at Foster Wheeler. This was a man. I can't say his name, but his first initial starts with a G, and he was a senior estimator in the proposal and estimating department in Foster Wheeler. And when I first met him, he started coming around to see me to say hello and things like that. And so I thought, oh, well, maybe we could go on a date. And so I invited him for coffee, of which he never responded. And finally, he said that it takes him a really long time to trust people. He said that when he was anorexic and he lost a lot of weight. And he said that when he lost so much weight, he lost confidence. And it took him a really long time to get to know people and to trust people. I think he probably was had an autistic spectrum disorder as well. And but I made friends with him. And at the very beginning, I thought, well, if I keep being friends with him and I keep being nice to him, then maybe he'll change his mind and maybe he'll want to see me outside of work. And then finally, but he was really weird. And finally, one of the things that he would do, finally, I just met other people. I mean, I realized that it was never going to happen, that we were never going to have a relationship, and he was too weird. And eventually, I saw how weird he really was. And that's why he didn't have a relationship. He lived at home with his parents, and his father had died of some aneurysm in the stomach or some blood clot in the stomach or something like that. And so he was living at home with his mother. He had to give his parents money to help with the upkeep of the house. And he phoned me, but really he just wanted to see me at work. He just wanted to be friends at work. But I would stop by his desk every day to say hello to him. And I didn't think about it at the time, but we did go out a couple of times just as friends, nothing romantic. I did get him to go on a couple of trips with the social club, and we did like maybe go to a movie or something like that. But he had other friends that he did things with as well. It wasn't just me. I wasn't his only friend. And he would be friendly with other people before he would be friendly with me. One of the things that he did when I was going out with this Iranian guy is he would follow me all around the building, and he would spy on me, and he would keep tabs on me. And a couple of times I missed the bus because he was trying to stop and talk to me when I was walking out the door. And then I missed the bus, and I'd have to wait for the next bus because of what he did. And then he didn't have an email address. He was very paranoid. He didn't have any social media, no email address, no anything. And in hindsight, it's because he knew what was going on at Foster Wheeler. He knew there was a gang stalking ring at Foster Wheeler. And so in order to protect himself, he didn't have an email address outside of work, didn't have any social media. And as I got to know him, I realized just how strange he was. And he sort of reminded me of Ichabod Crane. And one time I was speaking to a chief estimator, and I said, yes, we're only friends at work because he's got so many problems. And he said, yes, his problems are a lot deeper than you can imagine, which this chief estimator should not have said that to me, but the chief estimator knew him at work, and he probably was very problematic at work with his inflexibility. But basically, he never got gang stalked. He never got gang stalked by the people at Foster Wheeler, because the management of Foster Wheeler liked him and they kept him around. And then so eventually he changed. He would always say hello to other people and do things with other people. And I saw a lot of microaggression in him. Eventually, towards the end of our friendship, I saw a lot of microaggression in him. He didn't really behave like a friend. And obviously, when I was being harassed out of the business, he knew I was being harassed out of the business. And he came to me and he said, don't make a complaint. He said, they will make you disappear. They will make your job disappear. Don't make a complaint. And he said, well, I was just coming to say hello, and left. And they would also put him up to doing things because he was the person that you spoke to if you had a problem with IT. And obviously one of the things that was going on at Foster Wheeler, one of the avenues of harassment that they were using, where they were messing with my ITs, they were messing with my emails, they were messing with the directory, and so they were deleting directories, deleting files, and I needed those files in order to be able to do my job. And so I had to make a complaint to him about it, and he said, oh, don't make a complaint to anybody else because it won't end well. Obviously he knew what was going on. He knew I was being gang stalked out of the business. He knew that, and so he was going along with whatever they wanted him to do. And so obviously I was gang stalked out of the business. As if you watch my previous videos, you'll know that I made a complaint to ACAS. And then when I made a complaint to ACAS, I was terminated from my position. And I never heard from him again. And obviously I was devastated because I believed that I wanted to retire at Foster Wheeler. I wanted to retire at Foster Wheeler. And obviously that didn't happen. And over the years, he'd given me cards and presents and things like that. And one day when I was sitting home by myself, very distraught about what had happened, I took all the cards and presents that he had ever given me, and I mailed them back to him at Foster Wheeler. So when he was at Foster Wheeler, he got all the cards and presents that he'd ever given me returned to him. And then so he sent me a card telling me how sorry he was about how everything worked out and stuff like that. And that was the last I ever heard of him. That was, some friend, that was the last I ever heard of him. He was going to stick with Foster Wheeler. So I don't know what's happened to him. I don't know if he's still at Wood now, because it was Foster Wheeler, then it was AIM at Foster Wheeler, and now it's Wood. So I don't know what's happened to him. I don't know if he's still working for that organization or if he's moved on to another organization, because I've never heard from him again. But I wanted to make a video about him, about how he abandoned me, because the next video I'm going to make is going to be about talking therapies. And he's crucial to this video and talking therapies, which is why I wanted to make that video. So I've said everything I wanted to say about this person. Obviously, we didn't have a romantic relationship. We were just friends. But he did come to my flat a few times. We did watch movies. We did go a few places. But towards the end, he just blamed me just like everybody else, because he was going to stick with Foster Wheeler. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching this video. And the next video I make is going to be about talking therapies. And this guy that was my friend and is no longer my friend will play a prominent part in that video. Thank you.